Money, an omnipresent force in human civilization. It is celebrated as the means to achieve dreams, yet decried as the root of corruption. Throughout history, money has been both a symbol of progress and a magnet for vice. But today, we ask, is money itself evil, or is it simply a tool, neutral in its essence, whose morality is determined by our actions and intentions? Join us as we journey through the annals of history, philosophy, and modern economics to unravel the true nature of money. We will explore whether wealth, as a concept and a practice, carries an intrinsic moral value, or if it is our choices, our cultural constructs, and our personal ethics that give it a moral dimension. Before we can explore the morality of money, we must ask, what is money fundamentally? At its core, money is a medium of exchange, a store of value, and a unit of account, a system devised to facilitate trade and measure worth. It is an abstract concept that transforms tangible goods and services into a common language of value. Historically, money has taken many forms, from shells and livestock to coins, paper notes, and now digital currencies. But in every incarnation, its primary function remains the same: to simplify the complexities of trade and human interaction. Yet, this neutrality raises a critical question. Does money, in its essence, possess moral qualities? Or is it merely a tool, a reflection of the values and intentions of those who wield it? In this exploration, we will consider money not as a living force, but as an artifact of human society, whose ethical significance is determined by the context of its use. It is crucial to recognize that money is an invention, a social construct. It gains meaning only through the collective agreements and cultural norms that surround it. As such, its morality is not inherent. It is assigned, interpreted, and transformed by the societies that use it. In the following segments, we will dissect the evolution of money, the shifting ethical perspectives throughout history, and the nuanced views of modern philosophers and economists. By understanding what money is, we lay the foundation for exploring whether it can ever be considered inherently good or evil. Attitudes toward money and wealth have shifted dramatically over the centuries, shaped by cultural, religious, and philosophical forces. Let us begin our exploration with the ancient world. Ancient Greece and the pursuit of virtue. In ancient Greece, money was seen as a necessary instrument for achieving a good life, but it was not the end in itself. Aristotle, for instance, introduced the concept of eudaimonia, often translated as flourishing. For Aristotle, true success and virtue came from living a balanced, virtuous life, a life where wealth was a means to support the cultivation of excellence and contribution to society, rather than a goal to be hoarded. To Aristotle, the accumulation of wealth was subordinate to the development of character and wisdom. Money was merely a facilitator, a tool to create an environment where one could pursue intellectual and moral virtues. Medieval and religious perspectives. The medieval era, particularly within the Judeo-Christian tradition, brought a different perspective. Biblical texts caution against the love of money, not because money itself is evil, but because an excessive desire for it can lead to moral decay. The adage, "For the love of money is the root of all kinds of evil," is often misunderstood. It is not money per se that is the problem, but the unbridled greed and materialism that can corrupt the soul. Medieval thinkers often emphasized the responsibility of the wealthy. With great wealth came the obligation to use it for the betterment of the community. Almsgiving, charity, and the stewardship of resources were seen as moral imperatives, a way to balance personal gain with social responsibility. The Renaissance and the birth of modern capitalism. The Renaissance marked a pivotal shift in attitudes toward wealth. As commerce and trade flourished, money began to take on new dimensions. It became a symbol of individual achievement and innovation, as well as a means to patronize the arts and sciences. However, this era also sowed the seeds of modern capitalism, a system where the relentless pursuit of profit sometimes overshadowed ethical considerations. The dual nature of wealth was already evident. On one hand, patrons like the Medici family used their resources to support groundbreaking art and architecture. On the other hand, the same drive for wealth led to exploitation and inequality. The Renaissance thus laid the groundwork for the enduring debate over whether money is a force for good or an instrument of corruption. From these historical perspectives, we see that money has always been viewed through a moral lens, a lens that shifts according to the prevailing values of the era. This historical context is essential for understanding that the morality of money is not fixed. It evolves with cultural and philosophical shifts. Philosophers have long debated the ethical implications of wealth, offering diverse perspectives on the moral character of money. Let us examine three influential viewpoints. Utilitarianism, money as a tool for maximizing well-being. Utilitarian philosophers argue that the morality of money should be judged by its outcomes. From this perspective, money is inherently neutral, a resource that can be harnessed to maximize happiness and minimize suffering. If wealth is used to improve lives, to reduce poverty, and to create opportunities for all, then it becomes a powerful instrument for the greater good. The utilitarian framework emphasizes the consequences of our actions. It asks, does the use of money lead to the greatest benefit for the greatest number of people? In this light, money is not evil. Rather, its ethical value is determined by the positive impact it generates. Kantian ethics, money as a means, not an end. In contrast, Immanuel Kant's deontological approach focuses on the intentions behind our actions. Kant argued that money, like any other tool, should be used as a means to an end, rather than as an end in itself. For Kant, moral actions are those performed out of duty and respect for universal moral laws, not for the pursuit of personal gain. When money is sought purely for self-aggrandizement or hoarded without regard for others, it violates the moral imperative to treat humanity as an end in itself. According to this view, the ethical challenge is not money itself, but the manner in which it is used. If wealth is deployed to foster education, justice, and the common good, then it aligns with Kantian ethics and contributes to a moral society. Virtue? Ethics cultivating character over accumulation. Virtue ethicists, following the tradition of Aristotle, maintain that true success and moral integrity are measured not by the accumulation of wealth, but by the cultivation of virtuous character. From this standpoint, money can be a positive force if it supports a life of moderation, generosity, and social responsibility. A virtuous individual uses money to enhance not only their own life, but also the lives of others. However, when the pursuit of wealth becomes an end in itself, it can lead to vices such as greed, envy, and corruption, qualities that undermine the very fabric of a moral society. Thus, the philosophical inquiry into money reveals that its morality is not inherent. It is contingent upon our values, intentions, and the context in which it is used. Money, as a social construct, is a reflection of our collective ethical framework. Money embodies a dual nature. On one hand, it is a powerful means to drive human progress, a resource that, when managed wisely, can create opportunities, foster innovation, and uplift communities. On the other hand, the relentless pursuit of wealth for its own sake can lead to obsession, corruption, and moral decay. When money is viewed purely as an end, it becomes a seductive force that distorts our priorities and erodes our ethical foundations. History is replete with examples of individuals and institutions that, in their pursuit of wealth, lost sight of moral values, leading to exploitation and societal injustice. Conversely, when wealth is seen as a tool, a means to achieve noble goals, it can be harnessed for the benefit of many. Philanthropy, ethical investment, and social entrepreneurship demonstrate that money can be a catalyst for positive change. The key difference lies in perspective. Is money valued for its own sake, or is it valued as a resource to be used responsibly for the common good? The ethical challenge, therefore, is to strike a balance. We must ask ourselves, how can we create systems and personal practices that encourage the responsible use of wealth? How can we foster a culture where money is a means to empower rather than a measure of self-worth? In reflecting on the dual nature of money, we come to understand that its moral value is determined not by the currency itself, but by the purpose and intention behind its use. This insight invites us to re-examine our personal and collective relationships with wealth. In the modern era, the discourse around money has expanded to encompass not only individual morality, but also systemic structures. Economic theories now interrogate how wealth is generated, distributed, and managed within societies, and how these processes impact the common good. Critics of modern capitalism argue that an unbridled pursuit of profit can lead to significant social and economic disparities. They contend that when the accumulation of wealth becomes the primary measure of success, it can create conditions ripe for exploitation, environmental degradation, and the erosion of social trust. Philosopher John Rawls proposed that a just society must ensure fair distribution of resources. In his theory of justice, wealth is viewed as a communal resource, one that should be allocated in ways that benefit all members of society rather than a select few. Rawls' principles challenge us to rethink the moral responsibilities of both individuals and institutions in managing wealth. Moreover, modern critiques often focus on the externalities of wealth accumulation. Issues such as income inequality, corporate greed, and environmental harm are not inherent flaws in money itself, but are byproducts of economic systems that prioritize short-term gains over long-term sustainability and well-being. From a utilitarian perspective, money should be used to maximize overall happiness and minimize suffering. This calls for policies and practices that promote economic justice, social mobility, and sustainable growth. As we examine modern economic theories, we see that the moral debate over money is not merely about individual behavior. It is about the structures that govern our society. It is a call to reimagine our economic systems in ways that align with ethical principles and promote the common good. Beyond the theories and debates, the true measure of money's morality is found in its impact on lives, both personal and societal. On an individual level, how we relate to wealth can reveal much about our values and character. When money is used to empower and support others, it becomes a tool for positive transformation. Conversely, when the pursuit of wealth leads to greed, isolation, or moral compromise, it undermines the very principles of fairness and compassion. Consider the stories of those who have dedicated their lives to social entrepreneurship. These individuals harness the power of wealth not for personal indulgence, but to create opportunities, support education, and address pressing social issues. Their actions demonstrate that when aligned with virtuous intent, money can be a force for good, a catalyst for progress that benefits entire communities. At the same time, societal narratives around money often paint a picture of success defined by material accumulation. Media portrayals and cultural myths can perpetuate an unhealthy obsession with wealth, leading to a cycle of envy, competition, and ethical compromise. The challenge for modern society is to redefine success in terms that prioritize collective well-being over individual excess. The moral dimensions of wealth, therefore, extend far beyond personal habits. They are woven into the very fabric of our social institutions. Whether through public policy, corporate responsibility, or community initiatives, the ways in which we manage and distribute wealth have profound implications for social justice, equality, and human flourishing. In reflecting on these personal and societal dimensions, we are reminded that money is a mirror, a reflection of our collective values and aspirations. It challenges us to consider what kind of world we want to build, and how we can use our resources to create a more just, compassionate, and sustainable future. So, is money evil? Our exploration reveals that money, in its purest form, is a neutral tool, its moral value determined entirely by how it is used. The challenge lies in cultivating the wisdom to wield wealth responsibly, ensuring that it serves as a means to empower rather than to exploit. A balanced view of wealth recognizes that money can both enrich lives and pose ethical dilemmas. The key is to shift our focus from the mere accumulation of wealth to its purposeful application, supporting education, healthcare, innovation, and community well-being. By rethinking our relationship with money, we can begin to build systems that prioritize ethical practices, social responsibility, and long-term sustainability. This is not merely an economic challenge, but a moral one, a call to redefine success in terms of integrity, accountability, and the betterment of society as a whole. Ultimately, our inquiry into the morality of money invites us to examine our own values. It encourages us to ask, not, is money evil, but rather, how can we harness the power of wealth to create a world that reflects our highest ideals? In doing so, we transform the debate from one of condemnation to one of constructive possibility. Our journey today has shown that money, like all human constructs, is a reflection of our collective choices. It is neither inherently good nor evil. It is simply a tool. The ethical dimension of wealth lies not in the currency itself, but in the intentions and actions of those who wield it. As we move forward, let us challenge ourselves to use wealth wisely, to invest in our communities, support sustainable practices, and promote a culture where success is measured not by material gain alone, but by the positive impact we have on the world. Thank you for joining me on this thoughtful exploration of wealth and morality. I invite you to share your reflections and insights in the comments below. If this discussion has inspired you to rethink your relationship with money, please like, subscribe, and continue the conversation with us. Remember, true wealth is not found in the accumulation of riches, but in the way we use our resources to create a better, more just, and compassionate society. Until next time, let us all strive to build a future where money serves as a force for good.